Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just got back from watching Detective Pikachu, directed by Rob Letterman and starring Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. Now, when it comes to the long line of botched live-action video game movies, Detective Pikachu definitely seemed like it was one of the films that would finally give us one that didn't completely suck. Now, that's not to say that this is a perfect film, as it does have problems with coherence and a few occasional missteps when it came to plotting, but as a whole, I think this is basically the best Pokemon movie I've seen yet. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is that Tim Goodman, just like in the games, but he's aged up in this case, goes to Rhyme City after he hears that his father has passed away. While he's there, he ends up coming across his father's Pokemon friend, which is a super sleuth named Pikachu, played by Ryan Reynolds. Tim and Pikachu end up finding out that maybe Tim's father Harry isn't dead, so they both go on a quest to search for clues, find out a conspiracy, and figure out what happened to not only Tim's dad, but some dangerous secrets that are occurring in the city where Pokemon and humans can work together in harmony. Now, the story here does seem seem very familiar if you've ever seen a detective story, sort of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And just like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, in my opinion, the least perplexing part of the story is the actual mystery. You might be able to tell who did what as you go on. It's not as obvious as Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but it's pretty easy to figure out if you've seen a story like this before. Thankfully, that doesn't detract from the enjoyment of the film, as Ryan Reynolds is dead on as Detective Pikachu. He's funny, he's full of great lines, he basically provides the majority of the entertainment value, and Justice Smith does a good job as Tim Goodman. I was very concerned considering Justice Smith annoyed the living you-know-what out of me when I was watching Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but I guess he was just given a bad script in that movie, considering here he's actually not only relatable, but often quite funny in his own way. I think he was a good compliment to Ryan Reynolds' character. Unfortunately, that's where the interesting characters end in this film. Pretty much every other character fits the cliched role that you'd expect to have in this film. From the spunky girl reporter in Lucy, to the obvious villains who I won't spoil, to the various roles the different Pokemon characters play. If you've played the games or seen detective movies of any type, you'll basically know everyone's role by the time the film goes on. Heck, even the red herrings are easy to figure out. But you might say, oh, this is a movie for children. Well, it was clearly made with a child's audience in mind. Well, that is true, but I think it would have been better if they made the mystery a little harder to figure out. But regardless, the humor in the film is generally pretty good. I don't think the best jokes were taken in the trailers. Most of the humor that really works the best is when Ryan Reynolds gets to do his thing as Detective Pikachu, but also the set pieces and the various locations our characters end up in do lend themselves to good jokes. And pretty good action scenes. If you've ever wanted to see Pokemon fighting each other on the big screen, you'll get two big fights. But generally, both of them are handled well, and they don't overstay their welcome. They don't feel like they're action scenes for the sake of having them, to be frank. The majority of the focus is what it should be, on the story. And when it comes to the Pokemon in the movie, a lot of fans are going to be very pleased with the ones they choose. From classics like Charizard, to Blastoise, to Gengar, to Psyduck, to Magikarp, to even Mewtwo. You'll basically find as many fan favorite Pokemon as possible in supporting roles, and you might see even more fun little ones that are put on the background for the sake of visual gags, like Machamp and Snorlax. Basically, if you want to see a type of Pokemon represented in this film, you'll probably be happy with it throughout. It's not exactly the kind of Pokemon film I would have chosen for my first one, but I think Rob Letterman did the best he could here. It's definitely no masterpiece, but it doesn't need to be. it's a decent Pokemon movie that happens to capture what made people fans of the series to begin with. And for that, I give Detective Pikachu a 7.5 out of 10. See you next time.